From the land of lakes, this is 10,000 Takes, brought to you by Minnesota Score Radio. Wally and Eric back for yet another week as we slice and dice the always busy, always topical, super saturated Twin Cities sports scene. And once again, another episode of 10K Takes TV, and the Minnesota Twins are front and center here in the upper Midwest when it comes to sports. They're in first place as they embark on a 5-game series against your Cleveland Guardians. And they acquitted themselves a bit over the weekend against Colorado.
They did.
2 of 3.
Well, after losing 2 of 3 to Cleveland last week, Colorado came in and the Twins lost Friday night, and things are looking kind of dire. I mean, you lost 3 out of 4. You got shut out by Colorado. You only scored 1 run on Thursday against Cleveland. I think they went 19 or 20 innings, only scored 1 run. But the floodgates opened Saturday and Sunday, and it has a lot to do with the fact that your guy Byron Buxton actually was in the lineup. He was not in the lineup Friday. He pinch hit and struck out. He was not in the lineup Thursday against Cleveland. They only scored one run. He was not in the lineup Wednesday. So I think the natives were getting restless, to say the least.
Well, and not only that, but if you're Rocco Baldelli, you got to start thinking, I need this guy for my own job preservation. I'm not saying he's in any kind of trouble, but you're trying to win this division.
Of course.
He gives you the best chance. Look, he came in Saturday, instant impact. He had a triple in the first inning. Sunday, 3 hits, including a triple. He had a double. He had a single. He was a home run away from the cycle. He got on base 4 times. And I was at all 3 of the Rocky games, and just watching him, go into high gear like an elite Olympic sprinter in the 100-meter dash. When he puts it in the gap, he knows. And the fans know. And they get up out of their seats. He is electric. And there's no doubt they need him as much as possible on the field. I realize he has the sore knee, although the way he ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't know if I detected any evidence of a sore knee, but that's what they're saying he has.
I wonder how much he will sit against Cleveland this week, Darryl. There's a Tuesday doubleheader, a day-night doubleheader. You know darn well he's not going to play in both of those games. He'll sit one of the 2, maybe DH in one and sit the other, or vice versa. But it's going to be a long stretch of games now. And not only are they going to be testing to see how much Byron Buxton is going to play, but how is that bullpen going to fare through all of this? Joe Smith goes on the injured list over the weekend. That's a big loss. His ERA, in the 2 range, he's been very good for Minnesota. And so I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, because that's a lot of games in a short amount of time against a divisional opponent.
It is. And then you have Baltimore at home here in the Twin Cities over the weekend. Then you're right back on the road to face the Chicago White Sox, who really are getting into that point of almost being desperate. Yeah. That'll be a big series for the White Sox early next week. And so, yes, the Twins are going to have to try to get as much out of they can as their bullpen, which was excellent yesterday. They did very good against Colorado in coming in relief of Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
And so give them credit on Sunday. Now, Wes Johnson, the pitching coach,
oh boy,
he's defected. He's bolted down to Baton Rouge. He's going to LSU. This is a guy who came to Minnesota from Arkansas, SEC. MLB, it was a bit of a, people were like, whoa, you're going to college to get your pitching coach when Rocco brought him in? Well, by most accounts, he did a good job. And now he's exiting, going back to the SEC, this time to LSU.
Well, good enough where it looks like he's getting a big pay raise. He's getting approximately $350,000 a year from the Twins. And he will get approximately $750,000 a year from LSU. Plus, he goes from a 162-game schedule to a 60-game schedule.
Now, process that. You're a pitching coach in Major League Baseball, and you're a pitching coach in the SEC,
right?
And your pay bump is double?
Wow. What does that tell you about the SEC and baseball? There's no way in the world a team from the Big Ten is ever, and mark my words, ever going to win the College World Series again.
No,
not under current circumstances.
It's a tilted
setup.
system, and the schools in the North, and Michigan right now might be the bar for Big Ten baseball. They're not going to win it either. Nebraska went to the World Series a few years ago down in Omaha. They didn't win it. Ole Miss won it. There's another team right there deep in the
South.
The heart of the South,
Yeah.
The Rebels.
So he goes. Now, is there more to it, is the question, if you ask me. Is there more to it beyond just the money?
Well, we're at the ballpark a lot I never heard any rumblings about discord between Wes Johnson and Rocco or anything. So I don't think that's it. Now, is this simply a case of it's almost like a Saudi 54 offer? How could he say no, right?
Right.
So he's in the PGA and Saudi 54 comes along and says, we'll double your salary. And as you said, you're going to work half as much.
Yeah. Yeah. And do college players take your coaching advice better? And are you not under the thumb of analytics, which I think might be a factor too? You're more of a coach at the college level than you are in the major league level. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying because, old Rockhead over there, he's stuck to that laptop, man. And so if they say you can only throw 10 warm-up pitches in the bullpen, you better not throw 11. You'll hear about it. I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly analytics may be driving this for a decision by Wes Johnson, but the fact is he's gone. I know that the pitchers really liked him. I do know that.
Chris Archer, who threw a one-hitter through like 6 innings on Saturday, I know has benefited from Wes Johnson. So I think for Wes Johnson, from a personal standpoint, it would be hard to say no to this. But the analytics is a turnoff for a lot of people.
It might be.
People involved in the game, managers, coaches, players, broadcasters, media members, and fans. I think Major League Baseball, this pendulum, I believe this, is going to start swinging back, and there's going to be some middle ground. And you might see a few laptops or tablets or surfaces thrown away.
Smashed.
Yeah.
Somebody even take a bat to those darn things.
Just crush them into tiny bits and pieces.
Yeah. Well, I know that, as I said, the pitchers like him. I'm sure the coaching staff liked him. I've talked to people who have dealt with Wes Johnson, and they have nothing but good things to say. But this is unprecedented in many ways. In the middle of the season, you would think that with the college season just ended, the College World Series ended on over the weekend, right? Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, Ole Miss won.
Sunday, okay. Ole Miss won on Sunday. So you would think that maybe he could hold off until October, right? Nope.
Yeah, he's basically going to be in Ohio this week, then it's off to Louisiana.
He's hanging in Cleveland until Thursday, and then, as you said, to Baton Rouge and goodbye Twins.
Some other nuggets and takeaways from the weekend. The Twins were the Fox game on Saturday. They were on national television. Atlanta and the LA Dodgers was the other game. So they had a split, viewing region.
Yeah, most of it in Minneapolis and Denver,
exactly.
by the way.
Yeah, the 303 area code and the 612. But they did get some national love. Adam Amin, who called the game for Fox, you and I chatted with him the other day. We're going to have him on radio. But he was singing the praises of the Minnesota Twins. He thinks they can win the division. His view, of course, from 34,000 feet as a national guy who comes in for one game and then goes to another venue the following week. The other thing, and this is a little off track, but at Saturday's game, I thought it was cool. They had the 6:15 p.m. Central Time start. So for about 3 innings, you had this shadows, sunlight effect on the diamond at Target Field. It was a cool visual. I mean, it played very well on television and if you were there at the ballpark.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be hitting with the ball coming out of the sunlight into the shadows.
That is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, very much so. All right, we are going to have a really good guest coming up next. A guy who lives in infamy as far as the Vikings and the Viking fans are concerned.
Yeah, a frozen snapshot in time. Drew Pearson, number 88, Dallas Cowboys, the push-off.
The shove.
1975 Hail Mary game, playoffs in Bloomington, Minnesota. We'll get a lot from Drew coming up. This is 10K Takes, your Twins ticket.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect. Maya? Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
"10,000 Takes," Wally and Eric. And, one of the more iconic plays in NFL history, of course, the Hail Mary. Yeah. The original Hail Mary, 1975, happened right here Minnesota, Bloomington, Minnesota, the old Met Stadium, Cowboys and Vikings, Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson, who shoved Nate Wright, catches the touchdown pass. But it's something that happened right before that story is now being told by NFL Films of all things.
Yeah, the kick. And we're not talking about a field goal. We're talking about Dick Jankowski, who once upon a time was the public address announcer for the University of Minnesota, and before that was a security guy at the old Met. He was working that game in December of '75. And a few seconds before the iconic Hail Mary play, Roger Staubach on 4th and 17 connects with Drew Pearson on an out route for the first down. And Pearson then fell into the sideline area where Jankowski was standing, and he kicked Drew Pearson, the Hall of Fame wideout, who wears number 88. And Drew is here with us in the Zoom room to tell us all about the Dick kick.
They called me to ask me to come up to Minnesota to be part of Dick's football life. And first of all, I asked how much for me to go to Minnesota. Okay, it can't come cheap. But then I said, Dick Jankowski, I said, you're going to do a football life on him? And they said, yeah, he's kind of popular there in Minnesota. So we want to tell that story. So I went up there to be part of that. But yeah, it was 4th and 17. And Roger hit me on the sideline for 22 yards, and Nate Wright knocked me out of bounds. I went sliding into the snowbank, and we got the first down because of the force out. And Dick just came over nonchalantly, as you can see, everybody has seen now in the videos, and just kicked me in the ribs. Now, I didn't feel it because my adrenaline's flowing. You know, I'm all fired up. We had just got the first down and all that kind of stuff. We're still trying to win the football game. But if I did feel it, I would have jumped on Dick. I would have tackled him and taken him down. But I understand that being part of that football life and going up there to meet Dick and being there in his home and seeing what a sports fan he is. I don't know if you guys ever been to his house, but it's amazing. It's like a sports memorabilia museum. He's got a piece of everything in every sport there. So that was pretty cool. But got the opportunity to go there and visit with him. And the question I wanted to ask him is why? Why did he feel the urge to kick me? And the answer I got, he was just doing his part to help the Minnesota Vikings win that day. So there you go.
So my question to you, while you were in Minnesota, did you take the opportunity to kick him back?
You know, I wish I had thought of that. I'd rather have to fly up there just to do that. I should have kicked him back, but no, you know why I didn't do that? Because Dick's a good guy. You know, like I said in the interview with NFL Films, I said, if anybody's going to kick me in the ribs in a game like that, I'm glad it was Dick. Okay, not some jerk guy somewhere, you know. But Dick's a character. You know, he's not famous for kicking me only. You know, he's famous for his antics on the sideline. You know, throughout his time as a security guard there, and he's been a security guard there forever. So the fans see him doing these different things, whether it's throwing the ball behind his back or running up to an official or something like that. You know, he was a little different than the other security guards there. And so I guess because his tenure, his seniority, they let him do his thing there. So he has some personality, and the fans in the stands knew about him. So I guess him doing that was all part of, you know, his little antics and things like that. But him doing that and with him being the guy, we never thought it would have legs and take it to this point where NFL Network is doing a football life on Dick Jankowski. And I know he's a sports guy with the, you know, Minnesota Gophers and all that, you know, but do a football life on that, but not kicking Drew Pearson in the ribs.
All right, Drew, on more than one occasion, I have jokingly told Dick he should have kicked you harder because maybe a few plays later, you might not have been able to make the Hail Mary catch.
No. I got hit a lot harder in that game before that ever happened, okay? That Minnesota Vikings defense was tough that day. It was a knockdown, drag-out game and back and forth. who was going to make that turnover to give his field position to not even thinking about getting a touchdown, at least just get a field goal. That's what kind of atmosphere and kind of game it was. But so I got hit harder in the game. So when Dick kicked me, I didn't feel that. My adrenaline is flowing, and I was pumped up. And I got back to the huddle, and Roger said, "Drew, what do you got?" I said, "I got no breath. I just caught that 4th and 17 for 22 yards." And so they ran a play to the other side, Preston Pearson on a swing pass, trying to get a few yards, get a little closer to take some shots in the end zone. That turf was so beat up at that point. Preston stumbled on the turf and ended up losing focus on the football and dropped it. So now we get back to the huddle. Roger says, "Drew, what do you got?" I said, "Let's take some shots in the end zone." He said, "This time again, line up on Nate Wright and run a turn-in takeoff." For the first down, I ran a post corner. And this time he said, "Run a turn-in takeoff," which was our bread and butter play. So that's when we hit the Hail Mary. The only other guy he told to go out on the play was Golden Richards, to hold Paul Krause that side of the field. And he pumped him. And by the time he brought it back to me, I saw it was going to be underthrown. Used the swim move, the outside arm guys to get inside position. That's what you're taught as a wide receiver. If you use the inside arm, you come just face to face with the defensive back. You use the outside arm, you come face to face where the ball is coming from. So that's what I did. In doing that, there was contact. And with that contact, Nate Wright fell down. Touchdown, Dallas. And I'm sticking to my story, all right? It's been, 40-some years, and I'm still sticking to that story.
So let me ask you this. Has Nate Wright had a chance to shove you back?
Yeah, actually, he had a chance, but he didn't do it, because, again, if you're going to catch a Hail Mary, you hate to do it against a guy like Nate Wright. Just what a great guy, and great team player. Not vocal, very silent. You don't know he's there half the time because that's the way he is. That's his presence. But I was working for a local TV station in San Antonio, and we went out to, we were doing a story on the Hail Mary. Went to Minnesota, found the spot where the Met was, where I caught the ball. Went out to San Diego to interview Nate, and we had a great interview. He never admitted that I pushed. I never admitted that I pushed him, and it was very cordial. So if you're going to catch a Hail Mary, you hate to do it against a guy, like Nate Wright. And just a great player. I'm just disappointed or sad or whatever that, he's known for that more than anything else in his illustrious career.
And Drew, that one remarkable play in Minnesota was a trampoline for the Dallas Cowboys to go on to the Super Bowl. You eventually become America's team. It really was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We had a nice record. I think we were 10-4 going into that game, but the Vikings had the better record. That's why we had to go up there to play them. Back then you only had one wild card team. But we felt we had a good football team. That was the first year we implemented the shotgun. The year before, we didn't make the playoffs. We finished 8-6. Coach Landry wanted to change some things up, and that's when we implemented the shotgun formation. And we thought we can go up there, even though we were underdogs and no one gave us a chance to beat Minnesota in Minnesota, because they're a good football team, just been to the Super Bowl. They said this team was better. Basically the same team, Bud Grant didn't change much, with his personnel. So we had to go up there to play them, and no one gave us a chance. But, like I said earlier, we played them tough. It was a knockdown, heavyweight type championship fight. And who was going to be the last man standing, the last team standing? In that situation, fortunately, it was us. But that gave us confidence winning that game the way it went down via the Hail Mary, and then going out to L.A., again, being the wild card team, having to travel. We went out to the Coliseum, and now we're, playing in that weather where the air is light and breezy. You can run all day in that weather. Is nice temperature, 60 degrees, as opposed to playing in Minnesota, where I think the temperature that day was maybe 10 degrees. So, yeah, we had to go out there, but we were ready for the Rams. We had a great game plan offensively and defensively, and we annihilated them. I think we scored 37 points in that game and then, went on to Super Bowl 10. And with that, we were the first wild card team to end up in the Super Bowl, taking the wild card route to get there. So that's a precedent as well coming out of that game in that situation.
Well, Drew, we appreciate you coming on and talking about that awful moment in Minnesota sports history, and hopefully we'll get together with you again when the Vikings meet the Cowboys down the road.
You got it. I'm going to show you that's the Hall of Fame ring. You've probably seen that, Paul Krause or somebody. But I know you guys never in Minnesota never seen a Super Bowl.
He's got all the
ring, so that's one right there. All right. You know I got to have one in before I leave. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
All right, he is Drew Pearson, Hall of Fame wide receiver, right here on 10,000 Takes, your Hail Mary ticket.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
"10,000 Takes, the land where we haven't had a championship of any sort in the men's category anyway since 1991. And lo and behold, Denver, Colorado gets another one as the Avs win their third title since, their inception when they became the Avs, when they came up from Quebec. So congratulations to the Avs, and Darcy Kemper, the former Minnesota Wild player, gets a ring.
Yeah, how about that? Darcy discarded by Minnesota, Arizona, and my LA Kings, and now he gets the ring with Colorado. Look, the Avalanche, they are loaded. This Cale Makar, the defenseman, is a stud. We know about Nathan McKinnon. Let's also give props to Eric Johnson out of Bloomington, Minnesota, on the roster. Nico Sturm. Mid-season trade, Wild send Nico to Colorado. Nico, you can send your thank yous to St. Paul, Minnesota for that one. Joe Sakic built this team. He was the guy who played for Colorado when they won the first two cups. 5 years ago, they were the worst team in the NHL, Wally. Now they're on top of the mountain. Avalanche warning, baby, all around the NHL.
And where is Eric Johnson going to take that cup? Where in Minnesota are you going to be able to see that Stanley Cup? Certainly not over at the XL Energy Center.
No, but it should make a rare appearance here in the state of hockey within weeks.
Yeah. And the game itself, I thought that, great defense by the Avs, particularly down the stretch. They only allowed 2 shots in the first 18-plus minutes of the third period. That's why Tampa lost this hockey game.
No question. And Makar is the ringleader of that defensive unit. And when you have the great blue liners, Darcy Kemper then just has to go in and do his job. And he only gave up 1 goal in Game 6 on Sunday night against a good Tampa Bay team that was going for the three-peat. They just couldn't quite get it done.
All right. A team that has won a few championships in Minnesota, the Minnesota Lynx. They're not going to win one this year. I don't think that's a stretch saying that. They have really scuffled this year, and they lose again this weekend.
Yeah, no parade on the horizon for the Lynx. They lose to the Chicago Sky, a very good team. It was another dagger defeat, a 3-ball in the final seconds did in the Minnesota Lynx. They've been competitive recently, but they haven't been getting a lot of victories unless it's against Phoenix, and that's not a very good team. So I think they're clearly building for the future.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure about that building for the future thing. That's with as many good players and top picks that they have, and I'm surprised. I think a lot of people are surprised that they're in the basement.
Yeah, it's uncharted waters. I mean, 4 titles, and then you have Cheryl Reeve, who was the architect, and she's also the women's Olympic coach for basketball on Team USA. No, nobody saw it coming. But
she on the hot seat?
No, my goodness, Cheryl Reeve's got to get a statue. Right?
Wow.
How many people have 4 rings in Minnesota as a coach? Twice as many as TK.
Nobody.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah. Cheryl, you're safe.
Who was the coach? Who was the coach when the Lakers were here?
Oh, boy.
George Kundla?
Yeah, probably.
I don't even know. All right. Finally, Min Yu scuffling as well. Boy, this has been a tough season for non-Twins sports and summer sports in Minnesota. Hasn't gone very well.
Another dagger defeat. Minnesota United is down in SoFlo the other day, playing Inter Miami, your favorite MLS club. I think Beckham owns them. And they're leading into the final 3 minutes, 1-0, and they give up 2 goals to the same guy, and Miami gets a 2-1 win.
Wow.
I think Minu's like they're way down.
I think they're
Western
12th.
Conference.
Yeah, I heard they were 12th.
And the top 7 go, so they're not even on the periphery of the playoffs.
No, they're going to have to go on a big run if they're going to make it. All right, one more segment to go. Takes of the day coming up next. You are watching 10,000 Takes, your Min ticket.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Another episode of 10K Takes Television. So glad you've tuned us in. Takes of the day coming up. We're going to find out if Wally is a cranky Yankee, a demanding diva, an angry American, or maybe you're Captain Sunshine. What is it?
I'm rarely Captain Sunshine, according to you anyway.
Comes around about as often as Halley's Comet.
Wow. Well, it's getting to be that time. By the end of this week, you will have already hopefully submitted your all-star ballots. I know how you like to go online and spend all that time on your computer filling out your Major League Baseball all-star ballots. Well, as the balloting, the first round of which comes to close on June 30th, I believe that is Thursday, correct? Yes. I would like to see some changes. Our guy Byron Buxton isn't in the top 3, so he won't be a starter. Our guy Luis Ariz, who leads the majors in hitting, isn't in the top 3 or 4. Jose Ramirez just moved past Devers, the third baseman for the Red Sox, but that might not hold. Andres Jimenez, leading second baseman hitter in baseball or in the American League right now from Cleveland. He's not in it. So there's some guys that I would like to see get in there. But this balloting, this online thing, it's a joke. The Twins tell you to vote early and vote often. That's ridiculous. Just hand out paper ballots so I can punch those little holes in there and they can have the hanging chads and all that fun stuff.
And the mood meter says, cranky Yankee.
I think so.
And below that, stop the fraud.
Stop the fraud.
Not happy with all-star voting.
No,
well,
not really.
It is a popularity contest. It always has been. All right, well, my take of the day, let's salute the longtime Minnesota Vikings trainer, Fred Zamberletti. We lost him a few years ago, but Zambo goes back to the roots of the Minnesota Vikings, 1961. He was there through Van Brocklin, Grant, Burns, Steckel, Denny Green. I mean, you name it, he saw it. Brad Childress, all these coaches the Vikings have had, all these players, you know, Tarkenton, Foreman, Page, Moss, on and on it goes. But he gets the Award of Excellence honor at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very deserving, a huge contributor to the history of the Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings certainly gave him props. Now the Vikings need to get number 44, Chuck Foreman, in the Hall of Fame. That omission is glaring.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's unfortunate that they didn't do this for Fred while he was still with us. That's an oversight on their part. And let's not do that with some of these other guys, including Chuck.
And you and I know that if you wanted some purple info, you went right to Fred, and boy, you got it.
That's for sure.
We got to go. Let's FedEx out those thank yous. One to the great crew behind the scenes, also to Rocky and Drew Pearson. For Wally, I'm Eric. This is 10K Takes, your sports ticket.